That's what I'm telling myself. Stick with this fiction as long as possible. When we last met, I noted that I had a couple of under-the-hood things to do, so let's get those out of the way, and maybe I can get this engine back in the car. It puts the engine in the car so it can race again, or for the first time. Okay. So this to go here, I need to make sure that this stuff goes under and does not get speared on the post there, the post. Safe-ish. I actually have these routed. This is the longer one, so this is going to go all the way around, so if I have this routed. In fact, actually, this is probably going to get right here, so I can fog the... I'm going to even use this as the mounting point. That'd be nice. A bit of a mess. That's probably why I don't have any thread locker, not because I've been using so much, but because it gets knocked over and ends up coating its own tip. I hate it when it cuts its own tip. Shit, where'd you go? I'm surprised that went. Notice it shot out front. Oh, there it is. Yeah, just there's a slope down here, and it basically just used that as a ramp to launch itself about 3 feet away from the car.
All I ever wanted was to make it out alive. I've got outlaws on my trail and a chicken store to sell. They're coming down here looking for a fight. I've got scoundrels on my mind.
And now it's time to get the engine in place, and as always, stage one is raise the car so we can slide the engine underneath. Yeah, put the engine one way. Okay, all the fluids are finally out of it. Good. Tip the engine the other way. Oh, there's an internal shift to places where it can suddenly reach. Okay, tip it back the other way. All right, we should be out. No, there's always more. There's always more. How much do you have to shake an engine to get all the fluids out of it? And the answer is, I don't know, because I'm not shaking engines. Just tipping them back and forth and managing to find every last
On my mind and I'm just buying time. I've got outlaws on my trail.
Someday I should investigate whether real oil absorbent is worth the extra money over simple kitty litter. My belief is that they are probably both just made of bentonite clay, and my secondary belief is that I probably got that wrong and neither one is made of bentonite clay. Do know that for maximum absorption you need to let it sit there for a little while. At some point it does get saturated enough and even fresh, like now. I don't think anybody has invented the equivalent for a running nose. Tissues instead. Until such time as somebody invents, there's got to be a cuter name than kitty litter for the nose. I would say nebby litter, but I don't think that term has a lot of use outside of Pittsburgh. fact, you really only hear it around old school Pittsburghers, the kind that actually have the accent. We had previously discussed how my ex-wife told me I could never achieve it. She is right, and I am not embarrassed by that. Okay, and I've dropped it back a couple inches so that I can actually open the hood without striking the roof, ceiling, whatever. Actually, it's really an exposed beam with a lamp hanging from it, so... And I am hitting it, but not doing much else, so... Alright, it is time. Well, in theory, with these loosely attached, I should be able to release the Kraken, or at least the stand engine hoist. Cross your fingers! Imperceptible slackening of the chain. All right. Kind of bumped the gear shift here and realized that I must have connected the shift cables backwards. So I have to go back and play with that, because here's first, here's second, here's third, here's fourth. I'm never 100% certain that I do enough complaining about automotive engineering. The way the shift cables come out of the tunnel, there is one of them arches up a little bit higher than the other, and naturally that's the one that goes on the lower part of the shift tower. And of course it's a little bit shorter and has to go farther, so it's harder to actually get it to where it needs to go. Lots of brilliant design here. And I never did get to loop around to lubricating this lower thing. Let's try very hard not to get a mouthful of lube. Shit. Would not be the first time I got a mouthful of lube. See, it would have been much easier to lubricate this when it was disassembled. So of course I have to do things the hard way, because that's just what I do. Alright. So this is the lower one. This is the upper. So that should improve this shifting action. That should improve the shifting action rather significantly. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. Reverse. Okay, actually this, I don't know if it's the the bushings and stuff that I replaced, or if the older Focus just legitimately had a better transmission. The transmission guys said it was in pretty good shape, so internally, which is good. But now this shifts in an appropriate direction, like a modern car. Turns out that the original Mini, the Morris Mini Minor, I believe was its formal name, it was one of the very first transverse-mounted engines, and in order to accomplish that, they didn't develop a special transmission for it, so the transmission was mounted at a right angle as well, and the shift pattern apparently is sideways. Fun. While I was rolling around under the car getting ready to connect the exhaust a little further, I realized that the guy who did my cage, Adam, had also, I knew that he had done a bar for my skid plate, but for whatever reason, when I was painting the cage, I completely forgot to paint the skid plate, and it kind of needs it. So I did that with the camera out of the splash zone, and while that's drying, I don't want to be rolling under there and bumping up against it, so kind of decided that it was time to work on the next piece of fire suppression gear, which I think I've maybe bent a little further than is necessary. 30-second break while I go bend this a little back. 30 seconds later. Now that I've actually got it to point at the engine, this will do that the other way. Good. Good intent. And I spent a while looking for the vehicle speed sensor and the reverse positioning sensor, and like, why can't I find them? Why can't I find them? And it turns out that because I dropped the engine, taking off only things that need to be taken off, it turns out that you can leave this fraction of a harness on the engine and still drop it. So I went and looked at the one that's on the orange car engine, and noticed that it wasn't in particularly good shape, so I went down to the black car, since I still have it for parts, and fetched the much more attractive one. Now I can actually put this together. Comparatively little drama in that, which is always a pleasant thing to find, so hopefully we can have this thing running shortly and make it to our first event, which at that point would have been Sofer. And in the real world, in the background, I'm getting ready for Sofer and broke the car in a new and interesting way, which we'll come back to some other episode. But by saving money by not having gotten to go to Snowdrift or, 100 Acre Woods and having budgeted for both of those, I'm going to end up getting a rental just so that I'm frustrated and we need to race and we need to at least have some sort of success under our belt. So that's the way it's going to happen. Well, in case I don't say you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And I was having trouble figuring out why I couldn't find the reverse position